Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, March the 16th, 2021. Sego, David Lahashu Juts. Welcome to today's edition of the COVID-19 Task Force Update on this, our 190th edition of Kahnawà 911. On this afternoon's show, we will be hearing from Chief Clinton Phillips and Lloyd Phillips, Commissioner of Public Safety. And with the latest update, now throw it over to Clinton. Clinton?
Thank you, Dave. Just me again. I'd like to have a few minutes with you on this nice sunny day in March, middle of March. We made it this far. Spring is around the corner. Our days are getting longer. All good signs, right, folks? Our vaccine center has been open for several weeks now. We've vaccinated quite a bit of people. Things are looking good. I guess most of you are aware we did have a extension of the state of emergency, which I know some people are like looking at it and saying like, why, if our numbers are at zero currently and our numbers have been down for quite some time, the vaccine center is here and working well. Our numbers are at zero, but I mean, that could change, right? That could change overnight, that could change tomorrow. We just don't know with this virus. So we're doing everything humanly possible to ensure that our numbers stay at zero or as very low as possible. And I think that, with the vaccine center that is here, and I guess I'll, reach out to you at home if you're kind of teetering on the fence of, should you get it? Should you get vaccinated? Should you not? Should you wait? We do have a lot of room. We have 2 good weeks left of 2.5 weeks left rather of the vaccination center. And if you miss this opportunity, you will be subjected to, if you change your mind and miss out here, you will be subject to, I guess, going to a Quebec designated vaccination center or wherever that would be at the 1030 complex or near Costco, I think in St. Philip it is. It's much easier for you to just come here and have it done in your own backyard. So I'm kind of promoting that right now. If you're unsure, if you are not certain that you want to get it, I think it would be in your best interest for your family to just, roll up your sleeve and get the needle. I actually got mine a week ago. You barely feel a thing. It's, I hear people talking about, it was almost like a mosquito bite. Literally, that's what it feels like, a mosquito bite. When I got mine, like that night later on, I had a little, sensitive at the injection site, but no different than any other needle you get. The next day I was fine, a little sore for that day, and then after that it was completely gone. So just promoting our vaccination center here in Kahnawà because it's easy for you. You're in and out in 15-20 minutes, and I think it's the best thing and the easiest way for all of us to ensure that we're doing the right thing. I don't know what else to talk about at this point. There is stuff that I do, I wish I could talk about in depth, but I'm only here for a few minutes. And I guess people are questioning, why the state of emergency was extended, as I said earlier. When the Commissioner, Lloyd Phillips, did come to Council to ask for an extension of 30 days, he did state that he's hoping that it'll be our last extension. So are we, so am I, so are you, I presume. But it's just, we have to do what's best for the community. I know I've said it so many times on this show, and you must be sick of hearing me saying, that like all of yous, we're at our wits' end. We've fought this for well over a year now. We continue to fight, I guess, until everyone is vaccinated and the virus has left us. We can breathe a lot easier at that point, but we're not there yet. Most of you must know what's going on in Italy at this current moment. They are entering their 3rd wave of COVID-19. Not a good sign, not a good sign. If you look at what's happening in the United States, where states have totally reopened, and people are in bars, people are in restaurants at 100% capacity. Everything is open, sporting venues, and you name it. It's a full open, crowded beaches in Florida and California, and there's very much concern about their numbers are going to start rising again. Would that constitute entering a 3rd wave? I don't know. I'm not a scientific person, as you know that. But like I said, in Europe, things don't look good. So I think what we need to do is really, at this point, follow the P's and Q's, follow the recommendations to ensure that you, me, we are doing the right things for our community. We are kind of in a bubble here in Kahnawake because we are being vaccinated more so than what's being done outside of Kahnawake and First Nations territories. Good thing, absolutely, I think it is. And again, we're asking people to just watch what you're doing, and help all of us. And for tonight, that's all I have to say. I appreciate your time, and I'll be speaking with you all very soon. Good luck, everybody.
Nyawagola Clinton. Up next is Lloyd Phillips. Lloyd?
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Clinton. I just want to reemphasize a few points that Clinton had already raised, because we've been getting some questions here at the task force or individually, regarding the vaccine rollout in the community. It is going very well. As of Saturday, we had 31% of the community vaccinated, I think exactly 2,000 doses. And the vaccination center has been open since 9 a.m. this morning and is running until 5 o'clock today. And tomorrow it's also going to be running from 10 till 6, and obviously the rest of the week as well. So if you haven't already booked your appointment, we certainly encourage everybody to do so. Again, our goal is to have 80% plus of our community vaccinated, by the end of the month. We still got a few weeks left in the campaign of vaccinating our community. We will, keep repeating the message, time and time again that we need to get the vaccine to the masses of our community as quickly as possible. As we heard just now, and Clinton talked about it, and unfortunately, there are a third wave of the pandemic is rolling out in parts of Europe, and that's something certainly we want to avoid. Throughout North America for that matter, but definitely in Quebec area and certainly within our community. And the best way to protect ourselves from that as Kahnawake is to have the vaccine. And if we have 80% plus of our people vaccinated, we have a certain amount of protection as a community. So what happens around us, we could go relatively unscathed if our community is properly vaccinated, and we have time to build that immunity. Because remember, the moment you're vaccinated, the immunity doesn't start. It could take up 14 days, and it could take a little bit longer for older people or people who have some immunocompromised issues with their body. So it may take up to 30 days to build that level of immunity. So that's why some people are asking, like, well, how come we're keeping the state of emergency and things rolling out, and why can't things change? Well, first of all, we only have about 30% of our community vaccinated, which is far below the level that gives any level of security. Plus, the people who were recently vaccinated still didn't have time to build up that level of immunity. So we want to make sure that we're in a safe place when things start to evolve and when things start to change. We don't want to start relieving measures, in the community. Because there's many unknowns in terms of the variants and what's happening around us, and there's ongoing scientific studies on that. We don't want to let something go prematurely and then have to roll it back. We don't want to put ourselves in a precarious situation if we open businesses or start that process on a gradual reopening and having to stop it. I know that's probably more detrimental to anybody operating a business. But we are committed, as we said several times before, is to a gradual reopening as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. So that's something that we're looking at now as a task force. We're gathering the information, we're looking at the studies, we're looking at the impacts of the community, and everything, as it has been since the beginning of the pandemic, is weighed out, and we have to make decisions, based on health and safety, number one, the mental well-being of our community, and then sure, economics and everything else, plays a role in there, but. We have to remain vigilant and keep our eye on what's happening around us. No, the Greater Montreal area, which I said again geographically includes Kahnawà, Chateauguay, and Saint-Constant and Saint Isidore are all part of it. All the surrounding communities are part of the Greater Montreal area. They're still in a red zone in Quebec's system. So they're still red for a reason, because those are the highest areas that have the highest level of infection rates in the province. And unfortunately, more and more of the cases that they are discovering are the new variants, which are very more transmissible, easier to spread the infection, and what that really looks like and what that really means. There's still ongoing studies on what that really looks like, but what we do know, it is easier transmitted. That's why we keep emphasizing time and time again, mask, distance, hygiene, and obviously our well-being is always important. We have to maintain that, for the foreseeable future. How things will look, in the weeks and months to come, we will take it day by day. Like I said, we know it's been a long haul, well over a year for everybody involved, either on the day-to-day or even those people who are watching at home. We know it's been a long ride. We went through a lot as a community. We had many successes. We had 0 cases in our community now for a couple of weeks, and that's due to the measures in place. That's due to the cooperation of our community, and we certainly don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, by relieving measures, directives and measures too soon. We gave too much as a community to stop and let off the gas now, and to be in a situation where we're dealing with major outbreaks again and such. So we know we need the community to be patient just a little while longer until we feel confident that we are in the clear to really take some steps in the direction of returning life back to normal. Now, in Kahnawà, as I mentioned, we probably about 31% of the community has been vaccinated, probably a little more if you add in today's numbers. But surrounding us and in Canada as a whole, as of this morning, they're looking at only at about 4% of the population. So the virus is still can very easily transmit outside the community. It can still very easily transmit inside the community because our numbers are not at that point yet. But we're in a much better situation. And as the days tick on, we're getting ourselves in a much better position day by day, week by week. So if there is, and I hope there's not, a third wave of the pandemic, again, what happens around the community, I'm hoping that our community could again become unscathed, and we could operate differently as a community if we're all properly vaccinated. That's something that we have to always keep in mind. A couple of questions I just wanted to address before I leave, because and Clinton kind of touched on it just a little bit, but because people have been asking if I do not get my vaccine, during the rollout of this phase for the Kahnawà mass vaccination center, can I get the vaccine later on? And the short answer to that question is no. If you are a Kahnawà and you do not get your vaccine during the time we have our mass vaccination rollout over the next few weeks, and once that center closes down, if you didn't get vaccinated, you can still get vaccinated, but now you have to use the Quebec system, and whenever their system rolls out, largely based on age group, you may get your vaccine, in May, June, July, maybe even August into September, all depending on the age bracket that you're in. So, again, it's in our backyard, as Clinton said. It's time for us to get our vaccines here as Kahnawà, and we're committed to keep the vaccination center operating to ensure that everybody in Kahnawà who wants a vaccination can get a vaccination. Also, another question people have been asking about are we going to begin more Pfizer vaccine for the 16 to 17-year-olds? No, that's something that's still a work in progress. It's not something that is off the table, but there's no accessibility to various vaccines. Certain things are not within our control, but true to KMHC and the work that they're doing, we're working on that. Certainly, no guarantees at this point in time, but again, that's something we're taking day by day and week by week, and hopefully we'll have some success in that area. So I guess that's the main parts that I wanted to cover today. I think it's important to note that as I just got information here, because even in Ontario now they are very concerned, and they're being very cautious after their province has officially declared a third wave. So now it's on the borders of Quebec. It's in Ontario now where they're having major issues, with the outbreaks of COVID-19. So more reason why we need to remain very, very vigilant and get the vaccine and maintain measures, for the next little while. Two final points. One, I know Quebec may be making an announcement this evening regarding the curfew that's imposed in the province of Quebec, with the possibility of them pushing it back by an hour and a half or so. If that's the case, we will adjust the hours of operation of Kahnawake businesses. As we speak right now, they do close at 7:30 to not have outsiders in the community breaking their curfew, of 8 o'clock. So if they do make those changes, we will address that with the task force and see what modifications we could do to allow our businesses again to open up just a little bit longer. But also keep in mind, we don't want to undermine what Quebec is doing. We don't want to undermine their citizens and the rules that they must follow. Because they're not faring nearly as well as Kahnawake has been doing. So that's something again that's not gone unnoticed. And a final thing I wanted to mention, and this is going back to the state of emergency, and I did speak to this a couple of times, but it's getting very close now, where a recommendation on modifications to the emergency preparedness law has been presented to council for consideration to make amendments to the emergency preparedness law, which would allow us to evolve out of a state of emergency and move into a recovery phase. And during that recovery phase, there still is the authority to maintain certain measures and certain directive, but the goal is to continue to downgrade, and the goal is to minimize and continue to decrease the measures rather than maintaining them. So you're actively trying to return back to a state of normalcy. But in that interim phase between state of emergency and returning back to normal, there needs to be a level of mandate, a level of authority. There has to be legal backing to make sure certain things need to take place, and that's a proposal that has received general support by council, and it will be formally presented back to them in the coming week or so. And at that point, depending on how things are going, we could look at making modifications to the current state of emergency that we're currently in. But again, I bring this information out to the community in a way of being transparent on what things are happening. But there is no solid deadlines. There is no solid periods at this point in time. It's an evolution. It's evolving in a good direction. Like I said, 0 cases in the community for the past few weeks. Vaccination is rolling out. Things are moving along in a great way. It won't take much, unfortunately, to knock that off the rails, and cause problems in our community. So we remain vigilant a little bit longer. We hang in there. There's that light again. I said is getting brighter, and every day, we get closer to where a level that we feel safe and secure. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Dave, and I'll talk to you soon. Onigawahi.
Yeah, well, Lloyd, appreciate the update. And just before we go, another reminder that if you want to book your vaccine, you can do so by visiting Kahnawake911.com/vaccine, and you click on the link. Okay, and that'll take you right to the Click Santé website. If you don't have access to the internet or computer, or you just feel more comfortable at using the telephone, you can call them directly at 450-638-3930, extension 2295 or 2206. If you get the voicemail, please leave a message and somebody will call you back. And that's it for our program this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. From all of us here, Niawagoa, Danu, Onagiwahi.